Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. We're going to continue on with this week's theme of silent moments, looking at tracks that have a moment of silence in them. Today we're going to be looking at the band Fugazi off of their hilariously titled album 13 Songs. I got to look at this real quick. Are there 13 songs in it? There are. That makes me feel a lot better about the title. We're going to be listening to the track Waiting Room, which is it's the opening track number 1 out of the 13. Let's dive in and see what Fugazi has for us today. I like that like a vocal thing there at the beginning. Yeah, someone's going chicka chicka chaka. Very interesting utilizing mouth sounds. So this would fall under post-punk, right? Very interesting ideas outside of the general riffage here. All right. So it's a very punky song, but I don't know that I'd call it punk, which is why earlier I asked if it was post-punk. There's a lot of really neat small ideas in here. I mean, first of all, there at the beginning, we led the track with bass. That's pretty cool. Following that, there was a hi-hat idea, closed hi-hat, and I swear I heard somebody using mouth sounds of like chick, chack, tick, tock, stuff like that, alongside the hi-hat hits. I'm still not 100% that I didn't imagine them, but that was neat. We had like a full 2 bars of silence there from our intro into our first verse, and we had these ideas of trying to get started uh, little chunky syncopated guitar picks, pick slides, just all sorts of ways to create the concept of moving and then stopping, maybe playing two notes and then not playing anything. We got a lot of that after our first chorus, I think, moving into our second verse. There's a lot of elements in those little ornamental ideas that create a fun little track that kind of punches above its class. It feels very much like straightforward punk in our verse and chorus. They really don't go for any extra frills. They have their guitar riff, their bass line underneath, straightforward drumming, and vocals. There's nothing really here that is fancy or embellished, but they did take time to put those little extra ideas in there, and I appreciate it. It elevates the track just a little bit and showcases to me that they're thinking of getting outside the box just as much as their sound implies. Again, it is punky, but not punk. I'm kind of curious when the album. This is an 89 album. I don't know why I keep thinking Fugazi is a newer band, and I completely forget that they were instrumental in a lot of sounds and that they're actually older than I think. I don't know why. I don't know what band I have them confused with. Like a late 2000s, early 2010s band that maybe sounds like Fugazi sonically, or even just their name might be similar. I don't know. Also, the album's called 13 Songs, and like that's the kind of title I would expect someone to name an EP, but not an LP. And this is a 40-minute 13 song LP, so that just kind of cracks me up a little bit. Um we do have a lot of heavy bass work in here. I really love it. The bass line is not anything exceptional. It's not technically impressive. It's not melodically impressive. But it does lead a majority of the track, and I'm a huge fan of that. Speaking of melody, the guitar riff is pretty straightforward, but the vocal melody is not. It introduces a sort of punk plus exploration of harmony where half of the melody lines from the vocals tend to feel very much at home in a punk band or a punk sound, but the other half of the harmonic area feels more at home in indie rock, particularly something a bit more theatrically expressive, in a way that it almost feels like it wants to air into a rock opera sort of harmony and chord progression. And I find that really interesting. It's one of the major components here of what makes it feel divorced from punk is the note intervals that the vocalist is utilizing in their melodies. It is probably the most dominant aspect in this track that tells me that it's not just another punk band and that it's Fugazi specifically. It's an interesting sound, even if the delivery itself feels a bit or very much punk. It's an interesting note choice for the sound, and the fact that it's paired against these chunky, massive, gritty guitars and the fat bass, and the constantly pushing forward drum work, I think just creates more of that schism there and draws it more into the forefront that it's the odd man out. It's those interesting intervals are they stick out like a sore thumb. They're not punk at all, where the rest of the band still has a foot in that door. And I think that's it's a very cool thing. I know, like I said, Fugazi, they're a band that were influential in a lot of sounds, and I think that this might be one of those areas where they were pushing the boundaries a little bit and what would have been influential for other bands. Um, aside from that, it's a straightforward track. I think the only thing that we really need to bring up is the extended waiting at the beginning, the concept of waiting in general. It's called Waiting Room, and there were a couple lines where he said, I will not wait, or I don't want to wait, or something along those lines. Time. Time is very important to this track. So I think it's interesting that we start off with the bass riff, we bring in the drums, and then silence for like two whole bars. And we just allow time to be. But I think more importantly, they force the listener to wait. After our first chorus, it almost feels like the song needs to get jump started again. They can't quite find the riffs to play, and the guitar and the bass end up playing these sounds. They're not really, it's not music in a traditionally understood sense. It is a combination of sounds and silence. In a very academic perspective, it is still music, but I think for most people, they would not say that it is musical. And to me, again, it kind of sounds like they're trying to start the song again. The guitars and bass just can't find a way to get going. Once again, forcing the listener to wait, this time not for the song to begin properly, but to get going again and to continue on. And even at the end of the track, I found that the final 20 or so seconds were sort of cyclical, not really going anywhere at all, just sort of meandering, wasting time, making me wait for the ending. I don't know that they have any function other than that. It's not a brand new material that we hear in those final moments. It doesn't lead anywhere. The song just abruptly ends at the end of one of the riffs. We could have had it abruptly end after the same riff 8 repetitions ago. It's just an extension. It makes you wait longer until the song's over. It's interesting how many areas I feel that time was introduced into a key aspect of the writing of this. And I'm sure I might have even missed some, and maybe once I read the lyrics, I'll realize that there's areas that, I didn't catch now, but make sense after hearing the words. But yeah, making the listener wait is a huge thing here. I'm gonna hit some lyrics and then we're gonna wrap this up. All right, we had a straightforward set of lyrics here. It's about wasting time and wanting to stop. Verse 1 says, I'm a patient boy. I wait, I wait, I wait, I wait. My time is like water down a drain, just wasting time. It says everybody's moving. Everybody's moving. Everybody's moving, 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 moving. Please don't leave me to remain in the waiting room. I mean, it's very on the nose. Everybody's moving and I'm just waiting. I'm not taking initiative. I'm just wasting my time. That is what the whole song is about. The post chorus says, come on and get up. Come on and get up. That's everything. And so the song has, this is something I didn't really pick up on. It's a short track. As far as even on the album, well, actually, most of the songs are short on the album, and there are one shorter than this. So this is actually one of the longer ones on the album. I was going to make a point about it being short and to the point, but I guess that's not entirely true related to the album, but it is kind of true related to music as a whole. This is on the shorter side. It wants to tell you, hey, do something with your life. I'm going to do something with mine. We need to stop waiting in the waiting room, and then it gets out. It's the point's been said, and now I'm done. Um, and just kind of wants to share that with everybody. The song doesn't take time to dip the tempo. It doesn't change up time signature. Doesn't really explore any other depth. The most amount of experimental elements here is just the few moments that I feel they make us wait. to tie into the concept of being in the waiting room, but for the most part, the song gets in, says its thing, and gets out. It doesn't waste time at all because it wants you to do the same. Don't waste your time. Get up and get out there. Those are my thoughts on Fugazi's Waiting Room from their album 13 Songs. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Give me your thoughts, perspectives, opinions, anything else. Above that, in the description box, you'll find a link to Linktree. It takes you here. You can find links to my music, ways to support the channel, a link to the Discord server, and so much more. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I greatly appreciate all three of those. We do have a special selection coming up next. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, as usual. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.